The cursed arachnid is on your tail.
Not a problem. We'll ditch him.
Eat lightning, Spider-Man!
So then, let's review. Your name is Peter Parker, and for the last few months you've been using your superpowers to fight injustice as New York City's friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And already in your short career, you've met some really freaky bastards. Like the man who could change his face and impersonate anyone, even you. That old man in the feathered flight suit who almost had you in free fall. The 8-limbed lunatic Dr. Octopus, the closest you've ever come to true defeat. The dirtiest criminal in town, looking to put you to sleep permanently. And even Dr. Friggin' Doom himself, and yet, here you stand. Each and every one of these super threats failed to take you down because you know that with great power, there must also come great responsibility. But what if we had a villain who was all power, no responsibility? Enter Electro. The Amazing Spider-Man issue 9 introduces our flashy new foe, and Jesus Christ, there's more text on the cover than there is in the issue. The man called Electro, a book-length triumph from the oh god damn it, Aunt May, it's literally the first page, the story's not even started, and she's already putting on a show. Oh, Peter, I just haven't been getting enough attention since your Uncle Ben died. Oh, if only Carradine had brought one more bullet with him that night. While Peter concerns himself with his great responsibility, a new masked menace revels in his great power. We jump right into it here. Electro sparks up. How is the common man meant to fight a fella like Electro? The bastard shoots lightning. His first heist goes off without a problem. Also, his costume's cool as hell, especially the mask. Aunt May's evil scheme for attention is also performed flawlessly because she's actually admitted into hospital. Make the money that's gonna cost. Peter, grab your camera, get to work. Who the hell wants to read about losers like Puny Parker when we could watch real heroes like J. Jonah Jameson? Jolly JJ's at the bank when this shocking new supervillain breaks in. It's Electro! How's Mr. Mustache gonna get out of this one? JJ himself is caught in a state of shock by Electro's powers, and the high-voltage villain escapes with the bank's money without breaking a sweat. With powers like this, Electro might be the greatest threat New York has ever seen. This bit's super stupid though. Electro escapes by magnetically climbing up pipes. Jonah sees him clinging to a wall and thinks because he's on the wall, that must be Spider-Man in disguise, even though Spider-Man literally swings by a moment later. Jonah even runs to work and tells them Electro is Spider-Man, make that the headline. The irony is, Jonah himself would go on to create a very Spider-Man-like villain in the Scorpion. It's not all bad news though, because there's a reward for Electro's capture, enough to cover Aunt May's bullshit hospital costs. This time. Whoa, Electro and Spider-Man in the same place. I guess they're not the same fella after all. What's Spidey's top speed? He dodges light year for Christ's sake. Spidey's web can't blind Electro, he burns it right off his face, and when Spidey gets a bit too close to the living dynamo, it's lights out. But just who is this galvanizing goon? As Electro buzzes about his victory, he remembers the days he was simple Max Dillon, power line electrician, but even back then, he only looked out for himself. After strong arm and some more pay from a desperate boss, Max climbs a power pole to rescue a co-worker when lightning strikes. The bolt, combined with the volts in the wires, surges within Max, supercharging him with power. But the story wasn't as simple as that. Web of Spider-Man issue 2 gives us Dillon's shocking secret origins. It was a dark and stormy night, and a truck transporting a crap ton of Tony Stark technology gets permanently delayed by a sudden dead battery. Lucky for Stark's boys, a helping hand appears just in time. But these guards can't risk an unscheduled assist. These roads are dangerous for tech heists lately. 4 transistors have already been snatched, and as this mystery helper degloves, we find out how Max Dillon has broken bad. Using all of his new sparkly superpowers, Dillon's already turned to crime, but he's not yet the lightning lobbing legend he'd become. He's more static than Thunderstorm, but with all the crap he's been swiping from Iron Man, it won't be long. He's been using the transistors and conductors to charge his inner battery, and when Max hits his max, the world is gonna know it. Dillon doesn't just want to be a supervillain, he's aiming to be a god. And to be fair, he does seem to have the omniscience thing down already. Max sees something that no average man would be able to see, but a surge of electricity reveals to us mere mortals Quicksilver. It annoys me that this mug wears green when his name's got the colour silver in it. What does this filthy mutie want with Max, you ask? The better question is, what does Magneto, king of the filthy muties, want with Max? Eric, or Magnus, or whatever the hell his real name is, has detected a disturbance in the electromagnetic field, and he demands answers that Max isn't strong enough to not give at this point. Max explains his origins, but Magneto doesn't believe Stan Lee's writing could be so simple. In fact, Magneto theorizes that the lightning only activated a kind of mutation within Max, and it was always there. Magneto, king of supervillain mutants Magneto, offers friggin' Electro, the moron of Spider-Man villains, a place at his side. But Dillon won't just stand there and let this dirty gene freak think they're one and the same. Max definitely voted for Senator Kelly.
What? You think you can control me? Huh? Is that it? Let me tell you something, Bullethead. My whole damn life, nobody ever missed a chance to make me feel small. But that lightning strike, that was karma, baby. That was something upstairs saying I don't have to take other people's garbage anymore. Now they jump when I talk. And that's all it means, you hear me?
I hear you. Come, children. There is nothing for us here.
But shan't we make sure your enemy won't?
Recruit him, please. Xavier will take no notice of him, nor will anyone else, I imagine. So much power inside such a little man. Fate, destiny, whatever you wish to call her, she is a comedian.
If anything, Magneto's mocking only inspires Max to stay the course. He's sick of getting talked down to. And when Max's loan shark comes calling and talks shit about his recently created costume, Max smokes his ass, and then he does all the shit we've already seen him do in the video so far. So let's jump back to Spider-Man issue 9. What is a god without believers? Jesus had apostles, and so Electro needs a crew of his own to do his bidding and laugh at his jokes. The galvanized goon busts a few fools out of the prison. This jailhouse gets rocked, and even though Peter hears about it immediately, he still goes and visits Aunt May first. If anyone dies at the prison, I'm blaming May Parker. And of course, obviously, Spider-Man not showing up must prove he's secretly Electro. Isn't that right, Jonah? Oh shit, no, never mind, sorry, here he is now. Oh, I suppose the two distinct fellas with the two distinct costumes and the two distinct power sets were not the same person after all. Who could have guessed? Spider-Man's not screwing around this time either. Science prodigy Peter Parker has had the fantastic epiphany that he should maybe wear something that won't conduct electricity. He's went and bought rubber gloves, and even that nerd puny Parker knows you should always bring protection. Electro's shitty little syndicate gets a shock to its system when the Spider-Man comes swinging in. Here's an actually smart technique here too, as Max throws raw voltage. Peter chucks out pieces of metal that act as lightning rods, drawing the blasts away from Spidey. That's crafty. And the rubber gloves let Spidey get a good punch on Electro's starfish face. But Mad Max isn't sparked out yet. Electro just pulls out a friggin' gun, a real gun, because he thinks Spider-Man can dodge a bullet, Spider-Man can dodge a lightning bolt, but can he dodge both at once? Pocket sand! Spider-Man uses a Dale Gribble special and throws sand at the villain, and while Max is distracted, a good glob of weapon chokes the gun barrel. But then, Electro does something really cool and dangerous as hell. He rips the cables from the wall and starts whipping them around, supercharged on his own dynamic energy. If one of these wires catches Spidey, it'll be fried spider for dinner. But Electro only ordered a drink. Spidey, luckily, very luckily, backs up into a wall-mounted fire hose. He washes away Electro's evil ambitions, and Electro is unplugged and unmasked, but Peter's got no idea who this mug is. How goddamn fortunate was it that Spidey just happened to back up into a fire hose? That is some top-level bullshit plot armor. Otherwise, Electro had him dead. But don't you worry, Max gets another shot at barbecuing the bug in Amazing Spider-Man issue 82. And then came Electro. Don't make a dirty joke. Peter Parker, the relatable superhero, is financially poor as shit, probably because of all those unnecessary hospital bills, May! Puny Parker needs cash fast, and God knows Jameson's not going to hand out a loan. But while swinging through the city looking for a crime scene to bust up for photos, Spidey stumbles across a different kind of filth. Television executives! Spider-Man drops in and offers to be a guest star on tonight's show. I reckon he'd do alright on the chase, but keep him away from Come Dine With Me. Looks like the only taskmaster Spidey's gonna get on is the Skull-masked mercenary, because before they can write up Spidey's contract, there's danger! A high-voltage cable has come loose in the studio. But one electrician fearlessly confronts the wild wires and shuts down the system without a surge. A man named Max Dillon. How did this man cut the power without getting electrocuted himself? And why is Spidey so sure that he's heard that name before? Spidey might not remember Max, but Max sure as hell remembers Spider-Man. And the bug will get a grim reminder next time Electro comes calling. Back home, but still plotting and planning, the telly tells Max that he's not the only one who doesn't want to see Spidey's face on the big screen. Jonah Jameson is in outrage, and his mustached malice gives Max a light bulb atop his head. Electro lives again. He appears before JJ, but he's not here to hurt him. He's come to Jonah with a very bright idea. Electro offers Jameson his greatest desire, the defeat, humiliation, and unmasking of the Amazing Spider-Man, live on TV, all for the low price of $5,000. Jonah clearly hasn't learned from his Scorpion mistake, but at least this dumb plot won't cost him nearly as much money as that one did. Jonah, you cheeky, sneaky bastard. He gets tickets to see the show in person, and he invites Robbie Robertson and Captain George Stacy along to watch their hero get shocked. JJ's banter is unparalleled. Before long, the stage is set and the show goes on. Spidey's on his way, but the other star of our show is already set to go. Dillon sticks to the shadows until the webhead finally appears. We've got the camera, we've got the action, and now it's time for the lights. Oh, of course, now Spidey remembers the name Max Dillon. Electro casts his jolt and javelins in every direction. He doesn't give a shit how many people get hurt, as long as Spider-Man is one of them. The crowd legs it in panic, but all Jonah gets is a good telling off for the danger he's put these people in. Sly Bastard escapes consequences once again. Electro seems even more powerful than last time. Now he moves at the speed of light on his own currents, dodging Spidey's attacks with reflexes of lightning. This time, Max plays to win. Electro's so powerful, the very air around him burns. Spidey's weapon melts at Max's pure aura, while the villain's own projectiles zap closer and closer. Spider-Man manages to use his surroundings to trip up Max, but even the fleeting blows the hero does land barely register on this overcharged outlaw. Electro is so dynamic, the only thing that can overpower him is himself. Spidey manages to ensnare a dazed Max's hands and force him to touch his own feet, giving himself a big shock and short-circuiting the supervillain once again, but the sheer feedback blows the whole studio to hell. Both costumed outlaws are down, but although Electro reawakens first, he's too weak to stand a chance against Spider-Man now. Max retreats, but once he's recharged, he's gonna incinerate that itsy-bitsy bastard. We had a far better showing this time. There was no last-minute arsepull to save Spider-Man, just good old science. However, if Electro still had his gun from issue 9, he could have executed Spider-Man here and been done with it. One step forward, 2 steps back. So the main thing we've learned about Max so far is that he wants power. More and more power. And in Spider-Man issue 38, Electro gets enough power to light the night. The man with infinite potential, the man with the power to do anything, is strapped into the chair. The metal crown is tightened to Max's head without mercy. And the voltage is cranked all the way up. Finally, for all his crimes, Max Dillon, the supervillain known as Electro, is rewarded with deafening applause. What the hell is going on here? Since his last defeat, Max has given up villainy and joined the circus, and even Electro seems to have better publicity than Spider-Man because the people love him, and he loves performing, makes him feel like a star, but the brightest star burns out the fastest.
I'm on top of the world. See you later, Struben. I'm gonna get some grub. Not yet, you're not.
Hang on, folks. Don't go away. Electro's got one more trick that you're just gonna love. But you gotta promise not to tell the electric company.
Told you I'm not doing that anymore. It's humiliating.
As humiliating as being out of work.
Come on, Jack. Please? You'll do it.
And you'll like it. Yes, sirree, folks. We never have to worry about blackouts at the Steuben Carnival. Cause we got ourselves a live and breathing flashlight right here. We need a little illumination. All's we gotta do is stick bulbs in his ears, up his nose, any place we can screw them in.
When Steuben laughs, he sounds like a mule, but I'm the one who feels like a jackass, cause I just stand there, taking it. Steuben hees and haws, and pretty soon they're all doing it. I'm not a hero anymore, just a stupid ball guy. A big, dumb joke, and I don't like it.
Max is a star on stage, but in real life he's still the same loser he's always been. All the power he possesses, and yet nobody takes him seriously. It's starting to get to him.
Story of my life. Open my mouth and no sound comes out, like I'm some kind of invisible man. Max Dillon, the world's biggest nobody. I'm not a nobody! Even when I was little, on the rare occasions when Mom would let me play with the other kids, I'd be all nervous and stuttering and excited, but they never liked me, they never even picked on me, they just ignored me. I'm not a nobody! Nothing changed after Mama died. If anything, I faded away a little bit more. Stayed in the same house, slept in the same bed, got a dull little job as a lineman for the electric company. No, not dull. I loved it up there on the poles. Just me and those humming wires. So much power in those wires. I used to wish I could tap into it. Thought maybe it could change me somehow. No more stutter. No more women looking right through me. No more stupid, boring Max Dillon. I'm not nobody. I'm not Max Dillon. I'm Electro. 1 in a million crazy freak accident. All that power pouring through me. Thought I was dying for sure, but I wasn't dying. I'm Electro. I was being reborn. Electro was everything Max wasn't. I walked into a bank in a crazy costume. Everybody noticed. They wrote about me in the magazines, talked about me on the news. They were scared of me. I was a big man. A big man. A big man. So how come I always ended up getting my butt kicked by Spider-Man? How come I always ended up in jail, feeling as small as I ever did when I was a kid? No wonder I finally gave it all up and hitched a ride to Kansas for Steuben's traveling freak show. No wonder I started to fade away. All over again. No wonder I've got an idea.
2 parallel. Peter Parker seems to be having similar identity problems because someone, probably Jonah Jameson, called him a nerd. But Puny Parker's got millions of stories where he's the main man. It's Max's turn, damn it. Screw the carnival. Max Dillon is back in New York and he's here on serious business. He's got a plan to finally make the world take notice, but this panhandler's already noticed Max. This panel's got me pissing myself laughing. The way he just states, no. No bullshit. Just no. Because Max has bigger fish to fry. Ascending the tallest hotel in the city, the top of New York, the green and gold costume unplugs the sad, pathetic man and charges up the supervillain. Lightning strikes twice as Electro lives again. Don't you just love when the covers depict something that actually happens in the issue? The top of New York has been blitzed by Max's lethal lightning, and unlucky for him, guess who's due at this hotel for a charity event? Only Peter Parker, the goddamn spectacular Spider-Man. Last night was a test run, but when Electro strikes tonight, he's gonna have that wall crawler right under his nose. But that's not gonna matter to Max. The top of New York, the tallest tower, is Max's destiny. It's the stage that'll make people finally realise Max is a superstar, that he's worth noticing. Tonight, Electro makes the sparks fly. The irony being that Electro's greatest enemy is having the same doubts and problems that Max has. Peter's boss Joan has been talking down to him, making a fool of him all week to impress a new hire, but instead of biting back, Peter's been taking it like a bitch. JJ's got Pete feeling like he's back in high school, and Parker doesn't like it one bit. It's really playing on Peter's mind. He's full of impotent rage at himself for taking Jonah's shit, and it's even spilling into his personal time. He's obsessing over proving he's a big boy, just like Max. But Max Dillon is actually gonna do something about it. Costume on, Dillon hypes himself up for the peak of his criminal career, but despite all the light, Max is filled with fear. He could die tonight. His own evil plan might kill him. But he chooses to do it anyway. He's a coward. No more. He could die tonight, but he's gonna die big.
I'm so scared. Mama always used to say, don't be silly, Max. You can't do what other boys do. You're delicate. You're Mama's little flower. Oh, if I ever lost you, it'd be the end of the world, baby. The end of my world. So I never dared, never risked anything. Not till I became Electro. And even then, every time I took a chance, I got my face kicked in. Ended up hanging on the end of a web, waiting for the police to come and cart me away. Mama was right, this is stupid. I'm just gonna get hurt. I'm gonna do it.
Top of the world, Ma.
Top of the world.
As Peter dances the night away inside the top of New York, Electro makes his own way to the party. And don't worry, he brought the fireworks. The symmetry, the poetry between Peter and Max hits its crescendo when Peter splashes juice all down Jonah and Electro finds some juice of his own. In humbling JJ, Peter's stood up for himself, and now our high-voltage villain follows suit. Electro's hooked himself up to the city's full power grid, and now Max can tap into unlimited potential. Unlimited power. All of New York City goes dark, except for one shining light. It's pitch black out there now. They're the faceless ones. They're the invisible nobodies. Max knows he can't handle this level of power, but for this glorious, shining moment, all eyes are on him. Electro alone has the power to light the night. Now Max is pure power, and unlucky for Spider-Man, Max is going to use it to become the world's biggest bug zapper.
The city, it belongs to me now. Long as I keep drinking, sucking down every kilowatt in town, and with every gulp I get bigger, taller. With every gulp I burn like a star. A nova lighting up the sky. I'm hot. White hot. Look at me, all of you. Look at Max Dillon. Look at Electro.
Electro's drained all the power in New York City not to hold them hostage, not to use it to kill Spider-Man, but only so the people will finally notice him. Max is the only thing to shine in this dark town tonight. Inside the hotel, the people are in a panic that could quickly become a stampede, so Peter switches to Spider-Man to corral the crazed citizens. You'd think the masked menace would just make them worry more. And word of something strange on the hotel roof gives Spidey himself something to panic about. This is truly Electro's time to shine. Here he is, more powerful than he's ever been, and along crawls the man he hates most in the world. Max merely has to point a finger, and a huge bolt of raw power obliterates the battlefield. Finally, Electro has the power. All of New York can only stare in fear and awe of their new god, the single bright spot in a city of darkness. The power's consuming Max already, even his living dynamo body can't handle such high voltage. But is it worth it to finally be the center of attention? But then, to the surprise of no one, Electro loses his cool. Just like last time, his own power turns against him. The explosion of electricity becomes too much for Max to direct. It's killing him. And for all his big talk before, Max is afraid to die. So lucky for him, Spider-Man is here to save the day. Look at this pose, dude. The raw power of Spider-Man. He looks manly as hell. I wouldn't want to fight that. And neither does Max. Electro, sinister supervillain, electrokinetic emperor of evil, begged Spider-Man to save him. Peter tries to get Max to calm down, but with the air around Electro exploding with power, how the hell can he calm down? How could Spider-Man understand Max's struggle? Electro asks. The big-time spectacular superhero who pulls all the birds and saves all the days. What could a man like Spider-Man know of being a loser? How about everything? He talks a good game with the mask on, but Peter Parker and Max Dillon are exactly the same. Both use their costumes to cover the pain of life as a social outcast, but Peter's learned the confidence doesn't come from a mask, it comes from within. Others don't decide what you're worth, you do. Max finally understands that he's had the potential within him all along. Electro regains control and returns power to the city, but the biggest shock is still to come as Electro charges at Spider-Man with a hug. Look at this, Electro is so grateful to Spider-Man, so happy that he's finally found a kindred spirit, that all their previous hatred burns away. This is looking like the start of a beautiful new friendship. Story potential is infinite for Electro now. Will he turn over a new leaf, become a hero like his best buddy Spider-Man, join the Avengers like his fellow Sinister Six teammate Sandman did? Will the new big man Max prove that everyone was wrong about him, for God's sake? Light the Night by J.M. DeMatteis could have been the perfect final Electro story. He did the biggest thing his powers would let him do, and it had real, true character development for Max. But of course, he pissed it all away. Honestly though, what the hell happened to this Max? This character of a man with literally infinite power who acts like he's tough shit, but deep inside, he's a little boy wanting attention. This characterization's incredible. It's well better than Electro just being some dickhead who wants to become pure energy or some shit. There were shades of this even before DeMatteis wrote Light the Night, because Max, who could have taken on New York alone, chose to go find underlings to serve him. He really was always looking for approval. Electro's absolutely Spider-Man's most powerful villain, only held back by the fact he's not got the brains for anything more than bank robbery. If he put his mind to it, Max should definitely be a top villain in the setting. Maybe that's why he works so well with Dr. Octopus pulling his strings. Electro's been a member of almost every incarnation of the Sinister Six, and I reckon that's because Otto appreciates Max's raw potential. Or maybe it's just because Max is easy to manipulate, dunno. This scene was nice, but what a waste it ended up being. Do you think if Peter had visited Max in prison after this, they could have become real mates? A truly friendly neighborhood Spider-Man would have pursued this friendship, and maybe even rehabilitated Electro. Then again, the one in the movie thought he was Spidey's pal too. Ah well. Cool villain, great costume, don't understand why he gets so much shit. I am well and truly shocked. Oh, hang on, I used that one already in the Shocker video. Shazam!